Okay, Paula's going to be doing the float. So right now, we like everybody to shower first because there's natural oil on the skin, and that gets the water that she's going to be floating in oily. So everybody has to shower. Paula has been to the float room before, so she kind of knows the routine. So Paula is stepping into a chamber. I call it the float chamber. And it's about 8 inches of water filled with 800 pounds of Epsom salt. The effect of the Epsom salt is that it keeps you buoyant, so it's like the Dead Sea. Paula, do you have here, let me give you the headrest. And so this water is heated to the exact temperature of Paula's skin. And this is like being in the Dead Sea because it's so salty that she can't do anything except float. So it's an anti-gravity treatment. Gravity is the leading cause of disease. As we get older, everything starts to fall, including our organs, and then they start squishing in on each other. And when that happens, they can't get enough oxygen, they can't breathe properly, and then they press on each other, and sometimes you get nerves that get inflamed and various things like that. So we want to, we can't change gravity, you know, we could go out of space, but short of that, what we can do is find ways of opposing gravity. So that's why the yogis always have people standing on their heads. And that's really a fabulous treatment for brain anemia. We use the slant board for that. We have a treatment that involves using the slant board. So that you're reversing the flow of gravity, and so all of the fluids are being pulled to your head as opposed to standing up where everything is being pulled down. So this, in the buoyancy of this, it's anti-gravity. There's nothing that is pulling on her, and as such, she is going to, when I stop talking, she's going to enter the most profound state of relaxation that it's possible to be in. They say that the rejuvenative effect on the mind and the body from floating is equivalent to 5 hours of sleep. 1 hour floating is equivalent to 5 hours sleep. The Epsom salt is highly detoxifying. They say, and when I say they say, what I mean really is research. This is documented research. That 1 hour of floating because of the exposure of the 800 pounds of Epsom salt is equivalent to a 3-day fast. This is a very powerful treatment. Now the other thing that it does is, I started to say before, the water is heated to the exact temperature of her skin. So what that means is that there's no nerve transmission from her skin to her brain, and that's yet another reason why she's going to be so relaxed. We call it entering a state of supra-consciousness. Brain waves are balanced. It's a very strong anti-aging treatment. It's a very strong detoxification treatment. It's very good for addictions. And the main effect, other than when I do it, I make sure I do it once a week. And when my daughter was an infant and I was up at night, I mean, by 3 o'clock I was really running ragged. And I would come in for an hour float, and then I'd be, wow, you know, whole new day. I really felt like I'd taken a long sleep, and that was just from an hour of being in here. Now that I sleep just fine because Molly's 15. Now the main effect that I feel from it is actually in my skin, because it improves the elasticity of your skin. I don't know why or how exactly it works, because you think about salt as being drying to the skin, and in fact when I get out, my skin, you know, is filled with salt before I shower it off, and it does feel dry. But I notice that when my skin starts to get kind of reptilian looking from the winter dryness of it, that when I float, my skin is restored to its natural state of moisture and elasticity. So I love it as an anti-aging treatment. So I'm going to do one more thing to augment the effect of Paula's float. She looks like she's pretty good there, pretty relaxed. I'm going to add these stones. Paula is very familiar with these stones because we've done a lot of research and work with them. The stones are energized stones, and I'm holding a stone also. I'm going to give Paula this stone in a minute when I explain. These are different kinds of stones in the bag than what I'm holding. The stones in the bag emit a certain energy that has been documented in over 3,000 studies to increase longevity and improve health. They're very miraculous stones, and Paul and I met the man who discovered the power of these stones, and he mines them in Wyoming and Utah. So he very nicely sent me these stones specifically for the float room. So not only is she going to get all of the benefits of the floating, but she's going to get the benefit of these very miraculous stones. And this stone, the only place that he mines this also in Wyoming, the only other place that you can find this stone is in Israel. This is the national stone of Israel. It's called the Elat stone. And it used to be mined in King Solomon's mines because there was copper in the mines. But then the price of copper went down and they couldn't afford to continue to mine the mines and get these stones out. So as far as I know now, the only place that you can get this stone is from Jay, our friend, who's in Colorado, who mines them in Wyoming. Now, the beauty of this stone is not only does it have the specific energy of these gray stones that are in the plastic bag, and the energy, by the way, does go through plastic. This stone also is electric. It emits electrical energy. And we are electrical beings. We are beings of electricity. And when our electricity starts to diminish, then our energy diminishes because electricity is just a form of energy. And we become sick. So you can actually measure people's electrical fields, and it can be a kind of prognostic indicator for the state of their health and where they're going, even before symptoms have appeared. So I'm going to, and this stone specifically, it emits more energy as it's heated. And so since this water is heated, I'm going to hand it to Paula, and she's going to do whatever she wants with it. She might want to put it on her forehead, she might want to just hold it in her hand, she might want to put it on her abdomen, but put it in the water, Paula, so that it gets heated first.
Oh, okay.
You want it to be heated. And then I'm going to close the door, and then I'm going to turn the light off, and Paula's going to be in complete darkness. And what's beautiful about that is that when you cut out sensory stimulation, it becomes a very internal experience. I call it stillness moving because you're still very conscious. Again, I call it supraconscious. You might fall asleep, which I do routinely. But if you want to use it as a kind of meditation, it's really the most amazing environment to create a meditative mind. So in having it in complete darkness, it eliminates one more sensory organ, which is sight. It's very quiet as soon as I stop jabbering. And in terms of the tactile sense, it's really quite amazing. We can interview Paula after she's had her float and see what she says. What I experience is that I lose the awareness of where my body begins and the water ends. I actually become one with the water. So it feels like a very kind of flowing experience. And by the way, this is really a fabulous experience for pregnant women because they then are experiencing what their baby is experiencing, the baby inside their womb, which is a moist, salty, wet environment. Okay, so Paula, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. Okay. I'm going to close the door. You're getting lots of stone energy. Your brain hemispheres are going to be completely balanced. And you're going to come out feeling like $1 million.
Great.
Enjoy.